My name's Melissa with The Upcoming. How did this film come about being made?
Well, it was a labor of love over many years, but not a lot of effort because the Jane Austen material is just so funny. It's a very funny story, which we call Love and Friendship. We've changed the title, and it was a great opportunity to cast a great British cast, and we have sort of Chloe Sevigny as the guest starring American. She's playing American, and I found out that Connecticut is a punchline that works really well, and it's just a good time for everyone.
I wanted to ask about that. You've obviously adapted the novel and you've added some really great parts and there's some really funny scenes, especially reading out the letter and your adaptations of the characters as well. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about the process of that.
Well, there was a very careful adaptation of the epistolary novel to make dramatic scenes and to make it, as funny and fast-paced as possible. And then when the actors arrived, some of them were just doing such funny things. We wanted to add more and more material for them. So I was getting up at 4 a.m. to write scenes for Tom Bennett as Sir James Martin, add scenes for Justin Edwards, for Jeanne Marie as Lady Mannering. So I think there are a lot of breakout comic performances, and people who stay away from period films or Jane Austen films should come to our film because it's really different, I think.
And it must have been great fun kind of creating that 18th century look, not just in the costumes and the set, but also the language that you continued with.
Yes, we had some people who are very expert in this language advising us and trying to keep, everything reasonably authentic. Sometimes when there's a joke, maybe it's a phrase people didn't start using until 1815, we're set in 1795, but we broke those rules. But generally speaking, it's really authentic, I think.
And talking about the cast, were Kate and Chloe a natural choice after working with them in Last Days Disco?
Yes, absolutely. Particularly Kate. When I started working on the script, she was far too young to play this part, but by the time I finally finished a presentable draft, she seemed perfect for the beautiful young mother who's on the lookout for husbands for herself and her daughter.
And what was it like to shoot in 26 days?
Well, we were thinking of shooting in 27 days, but the assistant director scared me so badly, I finished a day early. It was actually incredibly good, and also we had no overtime, so we all got sleep except me getting up to write scenes for Sir James Martin.
And are you happy with how the film's being received so far? It's had some wonderful reviews.
It's terrific. For a long time we were 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and we've only tumbled to 99%, so far so good. It's embarrassing.
Do you know what we can expect next from you? Can you give us any hints?
Well, I hope to go back to this series I was doing for Amazon. I started the pilot and it was shown here in the UK as well as in the States, and I hope to go back to the sort of crowd of expats in Europe. Well, I think the real challenge were a plethora of riches. So it took me a long time to decide not to use a lot of funny material that wasn't quite as lively and dramatic and spunky as what we tried to. Excuse the word spunky, I shouldn't say that. It's quite as lively and funny and witty as the other thing. So it's just paring down the comedy because her original is extremely funny, but also quite wordy. And so at a film, you have many fewer words, many fewer things. Yes, I really hope people who avoid period films and Jane Austen films will come out to see it, because it really is a comedy with a sort of a modern feel in certain ways. That's not the modern feel where you violate the 18th century. I think it's the modern feel of sort of performing the comedy that was in her original piece. But it really is a comedy and not just, a staid period film, although we had beautiful locations, beautiful costumes, and there are 2 weddings in the movie, so...